So Rudy Gobert said this. I watch some of these other teams like the Suns or Warriors. Those guys are a step ahead of us in terms of winning habits. Devin Booker is playing his ass off defensively. Guys like that. They buy in, and you can tell they take pride in playing defense. What do you think about this? Is it a coincidence that he used Devin Booker's name, and that's somebody that Donovan Mitchell is always compared to because they are shooting guards?
That's funny to me. I mean, like that's just hilarious. How can you sit there and call out somebody who literally last year was playing on a bad ankle and was giving you 30 plus points per game in a playoff series? Like, how can you say that?
He averaged 34 last year in the playoff run.
How can you say he doesn't give his effort? I don't understand.
I will say this. Even though Donovan Mitchell, we know he's the offensive engine of that team, the Jazz have lost 4 in a row to the Raptors, Pistons, Pacers, and Cavs, all by double digits. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 25, 5, and 3, shooting 42% from the field and 34% from 3. So he hasn't been playing awful. But without Gobert in these games, they have lost these games. They are 1-4 and have the 30th defensive rating while he's been out, which is dead last in the NBA. So when Rudy Gobert is saying, I need help defensively, this is what he means. Everybody loves to use him as a scapegoat, but the reality is that without him, they're the worst in the league.
You said Raptors. He didn't play. Donovan didn't play that game.
Okay, yeah, but in his last...
Pacers, he had 36. Against Detroit, he had 31.
And he wasn't guarding nobody.
What do you mean?
Isn't that the same thing? Isn't that the same thing you knocked Bradley Beal for? For putting up great numbers but losing?
But Donovan's been winning for the past.
I know what you're saying.
He has a better team, though.
I think he's calling out the wrong guy. Like,
hold up. For one, he didn't call out Donovan Mitchell in that quote.
That's clear. He's who he's talking. He said Devin Booker. That's the one guy. Yeah. It's not like he's saying another wing.
Well, maybe by him saying Devin Booker is like, okay, a guy who's been horrible his entire career defensively is still putting effort in defensively.
That's easy for him to. That's Devin Booker puts in that defense. He started putting that defensive effort in when Chris Paul got there, and he has Bridges right next to him. He has Jay Crowder, he has Cameron Johnson, he has DeAndre. Like, he has guys that are literally solid defense. So he actually does. For all you can say about his defensive intensity, he also doesn't guard anybody. He just guards the person he's guarding. He puts in the effort. The dude Donovan is playing next to no offense, Mike Conley's really good, but he's old. And then he's playing next to Royce O'Neal. Yeah, he's 6'4". He's 6'4". Who can he guard? And then Bogdanovic, he's a 6'9" power forward
who plays no defense.
Yeah, like what do you like? Gobert is calling out the wrong guy. Well, I'm not saying he's doing it directly, but he's indirectly calling out the wrong guy, in my opinion.
Offensively, Rudy Gobert leads the league in screen assists because he's always setting Donovan, Rudy, and all. He's setting himself up. He's always setting Donovan and Mike Conley up and giving them good screens, and they're getting good jump shots and stuff like that, opportunities offensively. But defensively, like, they're not helping him at all. Offensively, he elevates those guys. So the screen setting and rolling to the rim. Like, he's not negative on offense. He does stuff which elevates them. But on the defensive end, they don't do anything that elevates him. That's the thing. And, like, this year, he has been terrific, Rudy Gobert. Amazing. Leads the NBA in rebounds. Defensively, I mean, he leads the league as well in contested twos. The rim protection is vital for them. And I talked about it in the last segment. I think some Jazz fans weren't appreciative. I said their defense is broken. I think some people took it as I said their team's broken. Everything is funnel to Rudy, he'll take care of it. But in the playoffs, when there's 5 shooters, that's not how it works. Reggie Jackson, Paul George takes Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley on one ankle to the rim. Pop, Nick Batum, Terrence Mann.
Without Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell is Bradley Beal of the West.
That's crazy.
It's not crazy.
Rudy Gobert is
wait, let me ask you, without Donovan Mitchell, what is Rudy Gobert?
Yeah, I was about to ask the same thing.
Rudy Gobert, Gordon Hayward was doing this stuff as well.
Look who you said, Rudy Gobert and what?
Gordon Hayward.
So like,
Gordon Hayward was an all-star that year.
So I said, you said without Donovan Mitchell, what is Rudy Gobert doing? Don't add another all-star to aid in Gobert.
He's a top 6 center in the NBA.
He's a top 3 defender on
Donovan Mitchell is a top 3 guard, 2 guard in the league.
Yeah.
What you're basically telling me is
they need each other.
They need each other because without one guy, another guy is Bradley Beal. Okay, but without Donovan Mitchell, what is Rudy Gobert?
I think that there are more teams starving for what Rudy Gobert has to offer.
He's the best rim protector in basketball.
He's one of the best. If not, he's the best. If he's arguably the best defender in basketball.
That's
Impact wise.
I was about to say.
I think Draymond's better.
He's most- I think
Draymond Green's definitely better.
Relative to teams, Draymond and him are the two most valuable defenders to their teams in the NBA. Those two guys.
Most teams that are in contention have scorers like Donovan Mitchell already established on their team, and they just need an anchor defensively.
Like who?
The Nets.
Definitely.
You the Bulls.
They have 3.
Yeah, but we have 3. It's not fair to compare us. Yeah.
But you guys need an anchor defensively. You don't need a Donovan Mitchell. You need an anchor.
We don't know.
How about the Hornets?
You guys
they need an anchor.
Wait.
The Hornets need an anchor.
You guys are downplaying Donovan.
Yeah, they're going crazy.
I'm not downplaying
He's one
Donovan.
of the best
I just said he's Bradley Beal of the West.
How is he Bradley Beal in the West?
What do you
Bradley
mean?
Beal has never averaged 30 in a playoff series.
Yeah.
How in the world is he Bradley Beal in the West?
He's averaged 30 twice
Donovan
in the
Mitchell's been
regular
one of the
season.
best postseason performers.
playoffs.
In the playoffs, he's a superstar though.
Like that's what I'm saying.
Bro,
Like you're downplaying Donovan Mitchell.
Look at Donovan Mitchell's playoff stats.
No, I know.
He averages 29 in the playoffs.
But without Gobert, they won't make the playoffs.
Without Donovan, I don't think they make the playoffs either, bro.
Who's going to handle the scoring load?
Last year, Donovan Mitchell was hurt for the majority of the season.
How many games he was?
Playoff stats.
Look it up. Look at how many
Playoff stats. He averages 29 for.
In 2020, Don in his 7 games had 36 a game. So I mean,
he's
a
different.
superstar in the playoffs.
In the regular
different,
season,
bro.
he's a star. In the playoffs, he's a superstar.
He
In
elevates.
the regular season, Rudy Gobert brings more value because of how much the defense relies on him. Like, put it this way, they're the top 3, top 1, top 2 defense. Without him, they are the worst in basketball.
But we've also seen him get exposed in the playoffs too.
It's not him. It's not him.
It's not that it's not him, but we've seen him get run off the
The
court as well.
Jazz, the Jazz record last season without Donovan Mitchell was 13-6.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So that's a solid.
That's
record.
a 500 record.
What would they do when they walk into the playoffs though? You think they
not
get
winning, bro.
swept, right?
Not swept, but
What?
depends who they play, bro. Depends who they play.
I'm like Rudy
Who's the
Gobert's-
eighth seed of the West right now? Like if they like or whatever. Let's say what seed are they? The
wouldn't-
third?
The fourth.
They'll play the
now,
Grizzlies
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, they're losing. Without Donovan Mitchell, they're losing.
In 4, they lost.
Yeah.
The one playoff game he didn't play, they lost.
lost.
Without Rudy Gobert, they're losing, bro.
But that's why. But y'all making
You have more of a chance with Donovan Mitchell to win that series than you do without
y'all making
Rudy
it.
Gobert.
Look at this.
You called him Bradley Beal, bro. That was
That's-
so
yeah, that's
disrespectful.
crazy.
Bradley, how is that
The
disrespectful?
regular season, it's
But it's
You're just
Donovan-
disrespectful to Bradley Beal.
no, I'm not.
Yes,
he's
you are.
what he is. But Donovan
Bradley
Mitchell is
Beal's
on a
good.
different level because
You
of the
think
fact
Mitchell's
that,
on a different level
yes,
than
because
Bradley?
of the
because in the playoffs he elevates his game to the superstar.
Look at this. Look at
level,
this.
bro.
In the last 3 seasons, the Jazz are 20-14 without Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, that's a cool record.
The Utah Jazz have a 39-57 record without Rudy Gobert when he's not playing in the last 3 seasons.
Bigger sample size, but yeah, it's under 500.
We're not saying he's not
Big
impactful.
disparity.
Under
I just
500.
told you without Gobert, the Utah Jazz are. Mitchell's the Bradley Beal of the West, bro.
Not gonna
can't
lie,
keep
come
saying
playoff
that,
time,
bro.
Donovan Mitchell's the best
You're
player
a
above and beyond in that
You're
series.
not-
You're
he's a
above and beyond.
superstar playoff performer.
You're a regular season guy
Absolutely.
because you're literally missing.
I'm not
the whole,
a regular season.
You're
But
saying
it matters to get to the playoffs. How does it matter?
no,
How
it does matter, but it also matters. It doesn't like it also matters, but when you get there, guys have to perform. Donovan Mitchell is literally
Donovan Mitchell's been performing since his rookie
when
year,
Donovan
bro.
Mitchell gets there, he's literally their best player. He's their
Yes,
best
he
player.
is.
He's
Yeah.
like easily their best
Yes,
player.
he
So for
absolutely
you to
is.
say
Yeah.
he's the
Offensively,
no, total. He is the
No,
best.
he's the
he is
best
their
player.
best player.
He is.
It's the playoffs, bro. Nobody cares about
Since
that
a rookie.
whole.
Total.
It's
Since a
like, it's the
rookie.
playoffs, bro. You're talking about Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal averaged 30 in the regular season, and nobody cared. Nobody cared.
He averaged 30
Donovan Mitchell doesn't
31
need
last
to
Do you know how much he averaged in the Philly series last season in the first round?
22.
No, he averaged like 27.
How many games they play? 5.
Yeah,
I think
That was
so.
cute.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about?
Bradley Beal.
In the Philly series.
How much he?
Oh,
averaged?
right. I'm sorry. I forgot that he
bro.
made the
I'm not
playoffs
gonna
last
lie,
year.
bro. Nobody cares about the Philly season. They got
I mean,
packed
I
up.
hate
They
to
didn't
say
have a
it,
chance to win.
A lot
bro.
of it at Bradley Beal is empty calories. Like, not empty stats, but it's kind of like you're on a team where it's like all on you. You're
Oh,
just
actually,
dropping
no, I
30
lied.
again.
He averaged 30 in the playoffs against Philly.
Oh, that's
Last
nice. What about the year before?
He shot 45% from 45% from the field and 22% from 3.
What about the year
Yeah.
before that?
He did the
23.
he made the playoffs in 17-18 when John Wall was there.
How many
He
averaged?
averaged 23.
Year before that.
He averaged 25.
Year before that.
23.
Oh, so he's that type of guy.
Well, for his playoff career, he averages 23.
But he
Donovan Mitchell
didn't
averages
break out
29.
until
Donovan
like
Mitchell,
3
his
seasons.
rookie year, he
was the
walked in, he
breakout?
was that.
He
What are
won
you
a
saying?
series his
I
rookie year.
understand what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Bro, he won a playoff series against
Yeah,
Westbrook,
yeah,
Melo,
bro,
and Paul
yeah.
George's rookie year, bro.
And they didn't win that because of Rudy
Bro,
Gobert.
I
They
know,
really
I know
didn't.
Mitchell is a superstar player in the playoffs. I'm not
Let me
denying
ask you a question.
that.
What series have they won because of Rudy Gobert?
I can't
They
really
certainly
say it off
didn't
the
win
top of my
time
head.
Against OKC in 20.
That was
what
good.
year?
Talk about Riv.
I mean, every time Russell Westbrook went to the rim, looking behind him because Rudy Gobert
Donovan Mitchell was going crazy in that series.
Russell was awful and like going to the rim.
You know what
like
I can say. People always talk about Rudy Gobert getting exposed in the playoffs. I can
he
name
got
you,
fried by Jokic.
I can.
Talking about he didn't get fried by Jokic. You said that he could slow Jokic down. I remember that.
I thought he could. He's supposed to be
he
this
got
guy.
fried. That's the series that they lost probably because of him.
I know a series.
Donovan averaging 37. It wasn't his fault they lost.
I know a series that the Jazz lost because of Mitchell. Versus
Houston.
the Rockets in the second round.
Which year though? His rookie year?
trash.
His rookie year?
Nah, second season.
You notice how he played trash and they lost in 5,
He
right?
played trash.
And they lost in 5
he did
games,
play
right?
trash. He did
And
play
they lost in
bad.
5, right?
He was getting locked up by Eric Gordon.
And they lost in
Nah,
5,
PJ
right?
Tucker-
locked by Gordon.
But this is my point. And they
Stop
lost in
playing,
5,
bro.
right? They lost in 5.
I'm just saying,
But
Gobert.
nobody thought the Jazz was going to win that series
No, but
anyway,
this
bro.
is my thing. Donovan Mitchell gets locked. The offense is dead. They lose in 5 games. 5 games. 5 games. Mr. Bradley Beal, he can put up 30. They lost in 5 games. It doesn't matter what he does, bro. It doesn't matter what he does.
I mean, they
Well,
were
you wanna know
you got
why?
to put context.
Wait, hold on.
You got to
I'm
put a
saying
little
he's
bit
not
of
that type of
context
player.
because
You
the
wanna
Wizards were the
know-
8th seed, bro. They were going against Philly, who was a much better team. You got to put a little bit
Well,
of
you
context.
want to know
in that,
why
though.
Bradley Beal?
Philly.
You want to know why Bradley Beal got
Philly
packed
cooked
up?
him.
Because he didn't have a guy like Rudy Gobert behind him anchoring the
He had a
defense.
point
Not
guard
only
that
that,
helped him
not
average
only
30.
that.
Bro, you want me to read Russell Westbrook splits in the
Hold up,
playoffs?
can I say
But he
something?
had a point guard that helped him average 30.
Bro,
You've said that.
Mike
in the regular
Conley's better
season.
than Russell Westbrook right now, bro.
But I'm
Stop
saying,
the
you
cap.
said in the regular season, you said it. When people
I mean,
play
it's
with
not
Westbrook,
hard.
they have their
Westbrook.
career years,
Bro,
correct?
you want
Paul
me to
George has
you
done
want
it.
me to name
Bradley
you
Beal.
Russell
No, but I'm
Westbrook
saying, did
stats
you
in the
not
playoffs?
say that?
Name me. I
though?
want to hear him. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I
I mean, we
hear
know
him.
he's not good in the
In,
playoffs.
in 2019,
wanna
where he
hear
had that
just
bad
to-
series, a lot of it was Ricky Rubio. Now that's Mike Conley. No Boyan. No Jordan Clarkson.
You talk about his rookie year?
No, the year he lost to Houston in 5 games.
okay.
You know, Rubio turned into much better guard. And so
Okay,
on.
look, Russell Westbrook versus Philly last year in the first round averaged 19,
That was
10, and 12.
he averaged 20 the regular season.
Guess what? Okay,
he shot 33% from the
He
field.
shot 33% from the field and 25% from three.
What is he supposed to shoot? That's what he was the last 4
What do you
years.
mean? What he's supposed to shoot? That's horrible for any
That's
player.
what Westbrook was the last 4 seasons in the playoffs. So what were you going to expect?
I'm just saying. You told me that I'm supposed to expect more out of Bradley Beal and the Wizards, and they should win because he has a
Bradley
point guard
Beal
like
went to
Westbrook.
6 with the Clippers without Mike Conley.
No, Donovan Mitchell. You said.
I mean,
Bradley Beal.
pardon me, Donovan Mitchell went to 6 without Mike Conley.
He had Gobert still though.
He had a
But I'm saying
45-point game.
Without Mike Conley. Without Mike Conley. Without Mike
Yes,
Conley.
but the Wizards team was
I don't know, bad
literally
ankle.
just Beal
Hey.
and Westbrook last year.
No, I
bro.
understand that. Trust
They're
me. I
trash.
perfectly get it. But you just read me Bradley Beal's playoff numbers. He's never been on the stratosphere of Donovan Mitchell when it comes to the playoffs.
No.
So for
He's
you
never
to
been on a team as good as Mitchell's. And since he's ascended to this, he hasn't.
What's the farthest
I mean,
Donovan-
yeah,
Bradley Beal's
it's just
made?
facts.
It's the second round, right? With
Second
John
round,
Wall.
yeah.
That's
John-
the farthest.
That
I
was a
think.
good. That was a pretty good team.
That was a very underrated team.
That
yeah,
was a
but
very
still
good team.
not,
He
it's
averaged
still not
25
that level, though.
I mean,
Like, come
you,
on, bro.
you can say that, but Donovan plays in the West.
Bro, all I said was that without
In a harder
Gobert, the
conference,
Jazz
though,
don't.
for the most part.
The Jazz
No,
not
no,
making
no,
the
no.
playoffs
I
without
wasn't
Gobert.
mad at what you said that, but then when you went on and
Nah,
said
but you
he's
said
the
he's Beal.
Bradley Beal of the West,
He is. He's a guy that's going to put up great numbers and not make the playoffs.
So what is Donovan Booker?
Devin Booker.
Without, I mean, what's Devin?
Who's
my fault.
Donovan
What is
Booker?
Devin
Donovan
Booker without Chris Paul?
The same thing.
It's the same with all these guys.
The same thing. Everybody needs somebody, bro.
I could have said the Bradley Beal of the West or Devin Booker. Or Zach LaVine last year. I could have said the same
So
thing.
no, I'm asking, but what is Devin Booker without Chris Paul?
Well,
A loser.
He's somebody who didn't
Well,
make
his
the
teams weren't
playoffs.
good. His teams weren't
So
good.
the season-
though.
But I will say this. I will say that if Rubio had stayed in Phoenix, even if they hadn't gotten Chris Paul, they would still make the playoffs. They wouldn't have made the finals, but they still make the playoffs.
They would have danced. They would not have been the number 2 seed.
No, hell no. They
Nah,
would
they
have
really would have though.
They would have been like a 6 seed. But, yeah.
Maybe. I don't
Six
know.
is
Because
so
with Chris
strong.
Paul, even though Ayton's numbers are down, it gave Ayton more of a defined role, and that kind of enabled him in the postseason.
Rubio
than he
is
did.
really what unlocked that team, though. The year
It was a
before.
great pickup because, like I said
He
before,
outplayed Westbrook
their,
in that series,
their
too.
guards were Tyler Eulis, Isaiah Cannon.
Rubio doesn't get enough credit for what he did with Phoenix.
Yes.
What did
they
he
were
do with
all
Phoenix?
well. For one, they went 9-0 in the bubble
Oh
with
my
him.
God, and still didn't make it.
8-0,
You know what?
8-0,
Clap it
8-0.
up for
8-0.
them.
They were the 9th seed though.
Oh,
They made
okay.
up a
That's
lot of
interesting.
games, bro. They made up
Nah,
a
that's
lot of
interesting.
games.
So I don't know. They'll probably be a playing team the next year.
Bro, AM
Ayton
missed
was,
25
Ayton
games.
was suspended.
That's true. That's true. I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
he did
the-
miss
yeah.
25 games.
He missed 25 games,
And
bro.
Mikal Bridges took
what
that
you-
next
so
step.
okay, so he did
I'm
miss
telling. I'm
25
saying that they would have been a playing team or an 8th, 7th seed that year with Rubio if Ayan had not missed the 25 games. And the very next year, had they kept the team intact, they would have made the playoffs still. They would have not been a finals team. Chris Paul put them over the top. That's without a doubt. No doubt about it. But Rubio gets severely overlooked for what he did with Phoenix, bro.
With-
Devin Booker had his best season with Rubio.
You not only got Chris Paul, but you also got Jay Crowder. Because if you don't have CP3,
Yeah,
you're
that's
not getting
true.
Jay.
That's true.
I was gonna say something else.
But even Rubio on a more affordable contract, they can probably get maybe a Jeremy Grant.
Ideally,
instead
who
of
do you think? Who do you think
Phoenix
gets out of
has-
Utah first? Gobert or Donovan? Like who do you? I feel like
It's gonna be Donovan.
What's up?
I said who's gonna leave Utah first? Donovan or Rudy?
I talked about last time. I hate how the media is trying to take him out of Utah. It's the worst. Like I don't think he wants to leave Utah, but people are trying to drive it out. Like, hey, he might want to consider leaving Utah if the Suns not. It's like, all right.
If it's between Rudy and Donovan Mitchell, I think Donovan goes first. The reason for that is because I think he's the one that asks out. I don't think Rudy Gobert's gonna ever demand a trade. Donovan Mitchell will.
It almost happened.
They paid Rudy so much darn money. No one's going to trade for that either. You know.
I wonder why.
Why? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because it's a large contract.
No,
50 plus
it's not
million.
that. It's not that.
I mean, who
it is.
Who in the NBA is trading for Rudy Gobert's $50 million?
I mean, if you're that,
No, you have to be a contender will if they have the money.
$50 million is a lot of cap.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
With the Nets, I would do it.
only
know,
Philadelphia can match out this Tobias Harris Ben Simmons package they've been throwing
I
around.
don't know,
That's
bro,
it.
this is a crazy topic. I ain't gonna.
But
front.
no, with the Bradley Beal thing, you weren't.
Bro, I was just telling you,
wrong.
I was just saying that without Gobert, Donovan Mitchell is putting up numbers, and we look at him like he's not a winner.
But he's putting up numbers in a winning situation.
The truth is, it's the same thing for all those guards. Even Jaylen Brown, all of them are not making the playoffs without that second guy around them. The difference, though, was it sounded disrespectful because you said Donovan Mitchell is Bradley Beal, when in the playoffs, Donovan Mitchell's like a top 5 player almost. That was the only thing.
yeah,
But
Mitchell's a superstar in the
You
playoffs.
weren't
It's
wrong. I mean,
ridiculous.
you made a great point with all those guards. D-Book, Jaylen Brown as well, Zach LaVine, all of them. They're not making the playoffs.
They were the same.
without
The
that
same
star
story.
alongside
Yeah,
them.
true.
Ridiculous.
I
how
mean,
you just said that with so much.
It's just
confidence.
you know, obviously
It's a fact, though, bro.
not
It's
a
a fact,
fact, bro.
When you think about it, it's a fact.
It's not a fact.
Yes, it is.
It's not a
You
fact.
both have fair sides.
If for Rudy Gobert, for him to be successful, for that defense to work in the playoffs, he needs what around him? The proper defensive guys, right? With Donovan Mitchell, he doesn't need.
No, the defense works regardless. It just gets
I'm
exposed.
talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about, if it gets exposed, it doesn't work. That if it gets exposed, it does. It literally doesn't work. So I don't know what that means. But
I'm saying like as a team, yeah, but like
what I'm
individually, Rudy Gobert's still great.
No, I'm saying
defensively.
his individual defense is great, but what makes him elite is the fact that he can anchor a team defense. And in the playoffs, what he needs around for them to really be successful is the proper not even elite, just a good to great defensive guy.
But
for
what-
let me finish.
I'll let you finish.
But for Donovan Mitchell, he doesn't need a great shooter, a good shooter. He's gonna be great on offense, him personally, regardless.
got
Are you sure
locked
about
by
that?
Eric Gordon.
No, because in 2019, again, Ricky Rubio, no Boyan, no Jordan Clarkson. What happened? He played awful.
Yes,
Lost in
it
5
happens.
games.
Yes, it happens. What happened?
Wait,
the year
who,
before
to
that?
who? To who lost 5 games?
Houston. You
Rockets.
talk about the
See,
Houston?
okay.
Yeah, they didn't have.
I see what you tried to do there.
So you
No,
just,
I thought he was talking about the
he
bubble
didn't,
versus
he did not
Denver.
play like a superstar that year, and he didn't have that stuff
He
around
didn't
him.
play like a superstar one time. What happened in the bubble? What happened last year?
That's
what
when
happened
he
his rookie
got
year?
all of that.
What happened his rookie year? What happened his
Rookie
rookie year?
year.
What happened his rookie year? What happened his
That's
rookie year?
fair.
He had the same guys. He had the same guys.
It's fair.
Yeah, don't do that. He had one bad. You're not going to throw one bad series over his head when he's had 5 to 6 elite ones. You can't.
You did that to Kyrie.
Yeah, you definitely did.
No, that was me trolling though. We're having a dead serious
Oh yeah,
conversation.
now it's just trolling. Okay.
JC knows
Okay, now it's just
trolling. Kyrie, too.
Now it's just trolling.
We're having a dead serious conversation.
Now it's just trolling.
It was
Okay.
trolling. He
Okay.
had a horror. He got locked up by Bledsoe. That's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing.
Mitchell got locked up by Gordon, bro. That's not
That's
embarrassing.
worse. That's worse.
That's not
You
worse.
serious?
Getting locked up by
Bledsoe was
Eric Gordon rather than Eric
He made an
Bledsoe?
All NBA
Eric
defensive
Eric
team.
Bledsoe was all defensive. Was all defensive first team player
Eric
that
Gordon
year.
is a serviceable basketball player. Eric Bledsoe is not.
No, we're talking
bro.
about defensively though.
I mean,
Eric-
defensive.
That year he made All NBA.
And I'm not gonna lie.
I thought it was the year before
It wasn't just EG guarding him.
George Hill.
PJ Tucker was guarding.
PJ Tucker
was
wasn't
guarding
on the
Donovan
team.
Mitchell. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
Tucker was on the team.
I'm thinking you talking about Milwaukee. Pardon me.
You know what I say to
It's a
myself?
lot of guys, man.
It's a lot of guys to throw at Donovan Mitchell. The
strong.
only scoring option.
Yeah, I know, because the other guy can't score.
I say to myself, Utah right now, Jazz fans probably won't like this. They could really use some Jay Crowder that they sent off in the Mike Conley trade. That would be awesome for them. Having Jay Crowder.
It'd be much better
That'd
than
be
having
big.
Royce
I'm
O'Neal.
That'd be big time.
be
Y'all gotta stop
way
disrespecting Royce. Royce
He's
O'Neal
good.
is a good defender.
Yeah,
bro.
but no,
6'4".
Bro, Jay
Crowder's
Crowder's better than
It's
him.
the size thing. Like,
Jay Crowder's better than
Crowder's
him.
4 inches
Even with
taller.
his size, though, he's still a great defender.
Yeah, but
Tony Allen was 6'4". You're not
Oh
going
my
to use
God,
height.
now you're talking
What
about
do you
Tony
mean?
Allen? Yeah, nah,
You're
he just blew
you're trying
my-
to act like height is the end all be all, bro.
But Tony Allen's Tony Allen's one of the best defenders ever, bro.
Hold on. Did you watch Royce O'Neal on defense last year? He got cooked by everybody.
No, he did. Paul George and
Reggie
Kawhi
Jackson,
Leonard, everybody.
Paul George,
No, they were frying him.
It didn't matter who was there,
too
bro.
small.
He's just little, bro. Tony Allen, don't ever disrespect Tony Allen.
Tony Allen will never get cooked like that, bro.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Tony Allen will never get fried.
I know that Tony Allen is one of the best defenders of all time, bro. I'm just saying, you're trying to. It's hype.
You said he's great.
No,
but you said he's a great defender.
I think Royce O'Neal's a great defender.
He's very
I
good.
throw that word great around way too much.
Yeah, come on,
He throws that word great around too much.
He's a very good perimeter defender that's limited because he's 6'4". Jay Crowder
That's
is
their
6'8", a lot bigger, so he can
Stronger.
guard
I saw Jay Crowder get cooked last playoffs too.
By who? I'm not saying
By who?
Jay Crowder gets cooked, bro.
That
Let's
size,
He got
though,
fried by
the
Giannis.
Jazz are very little outside of Rudy Gobert. Jay Crowder brings that size, and he's not negative on offense because he can hit his shots as well.
Now, Royce O'Neal is a
hits
good
his
shooter
shots,
too.
though.
Yeah,
Royce
but
O'Neal's a good
again-
3-point shooter.
Again, with Jay Crowder, he offers more versatility.
Look,
He
I'm
can
not
do
saying
more.
Royce. I'm not saying Royce O'Neal is the best guy ever. He's if we're talking. Oh my
Royce
gosh,
O'Neal.
you're lucky Cap was on it. I know that if there's one guy getting replaced on that team in the starting lineup, it's Royce O'Neal. He's the biggest liability there in terms of he's the worst one in the starting lineup. Conley, Mitchell are solids. They're going to stay. Bogdanovic's going to stay. Gobert's a mainstay. Even Bogdanovich, if they trade him for like a Jeremy Grant, okay, I understand that. But like, we know Royce O'Neal's the worst player in that starting lineup, but he's still their best perimeter defender in that starting lineup.
He's the worst player out the top 7. He's worse than Jordan Clarkson. Joe Ingles, you could debate that. Like it's not Joe Ingles.
It's Joe Ingles.
Don't disrespect Ingles,
Joe Ingles.
Why Joe Deere, your boy PG? I can't speak because of how bad he sauced him up.
Like Joe Ingles was dead ass locking Kawhi, bro.
What?
Last playoffs? You didn't see that?
Kawhi averaged
Kawhi had autopilot
it was Boyan
mode.
Bogdanovich. Boyan was locking Kawhi.
Kawhi had autopilot mode on those first 2 games. He was kind of just out there.
He was just looking. He was
just
overseeing
chilling.
the site.
But
He was just chilling.
You said success. I mean, what is success? They've made it to the second round of the playoffs, bro. Like, if we're talking about getting to the finals, then yeah, they need an extra player. But if we're just talking about successful, I mean, they've been successful. They just haven't taken the next step. They've been injured almost every single playoff series, though.
I can get into this again. Their defense is flawed because when you're playing a team of 5 shooters.
Yeah, but I'm trying to talk back to this D. Mitchell and this Gobert thing, bro.
They've
like,
been hurt.
Look, Donovan Mitchell is the best scorer on the team. I think he is the best player. But Gobert, if he's not there, bro, the Jazz are not a good team. They're not a good team.
Listen. In a regular season, if we look at it from a regular season perspective, yes, Gobert is probably the most important on the team, probably the most impactful. But when we walk in and times get tough and we go into the playoffs and it's time for war, I don't like if Donovan Mitchell.
How do you get into the playoffs though?
No, that's what I'm saying. Regular season, yeah, like Gobert. Okay, then I can agree with you.
Isn't a slouch in the regular season either.
Yeah, like, but
we haven't.
Regular season
to be fair though, we haven't seen Utah with just Mitchell and no Gobert in the playoffs yet. So we don't know.
Well, we've never seen just Gobert.
No, we have. Game 1.
And they lost.
Yeah.
Oh.
But Memphis is a surprise team in the NBA this year.
If you want to toss in the advanced numbers, the Jazz this year in their pace with Rudy Gobert, they're winning an extra 29 games. With his point differential, an extra 15 points per 100, 29 games. Let's say the Jazz this year win 55. Subtract 55 by 29. You guys are probably better at math than I am, but that's not making the playoffs. Or maybe it could squeeze in as an 8 seed if it was a very bad Eastern Conference. Last year,
no, there's 26 games.
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, that's why I can't do math.
Stinky.
Last year, 28 points or 28 wins as well. You take away 28 wins from last year, their roughly 60 win pace. That's 32 wins. You know, it's not really getting them into the playoffs. So
I just think you took it personally because we already we're not fans of Bradley Beal on this show, so that's why.
With Donovan's advanced numbers, they are a lot worse, but it's also a little bit different because of the lineups and stuff like that. It gets a little bit.
I just think
murkier.
you're disrespectful.
What did I say disrespectful?
Like, I think you just forget, like, when players like these, like players like shooting guards and stuff like that.
6'1" shooting guard.
That you think size matters for him?
Well, on defense, he could probably help him a little
what did
bit.
Shaq say? On Inside the NBA.
Dehls, he can't be D Wade or he'll never be.
You think he could be D Wade?
There's not many people that can be D Wade.
Well,
It's really hard.
Do you think Mitchell can be the first option on the championship team? He can be your best player on the championship team.
That's a tough question. I know, maybe.
Felt like last year was their best chance.
I know. I can tell you one thing: Rudy Gobert can't.
I know he can.
Bradley Beal damn sure can't. I can tell you that. So,
I know.
So what you saying?
I'm never
What you saying?
I'm saying they in the same tier.
Who?
Mitchell and Beal.
bro.
They not in the same tier? I think Mitchell's better, but they're definitely in the same tier, bro.
What if you replace Donovan Mitchell or Jaylen Brown?
No.
What if you replace
Let's ask the better question. Let's take out Donovan Mitchell. Let's plug in Bradley Beal. Where are they?
They do the same thing.
I mean, they have very similar play styles.
Wow.
If you trade Mitchell for Bradley Beal, the Utah Jazz still aren't the fourth seed. No. In the
playoffs, they do what they do the same thing.
They don't beat Memphis in the first round.
No, they beat Memphis probably. They might get Clippers might beat them in 5, bro. 5 games. Like 5 games. You want to let's plug
Bradley Beal just averaged 30 last year versus.
I think if Donovan Mitchell's on this Wizards team, I think they would slightly be better than what they are right now.
Yeah,
with Bradley Beal.
That Wizards team's probably not making the playoffs. Or just Donovan. But again, if you put Jaylen Brown and Utah, what happens with Utah and Jaylen Brown? Think about that. More size, 6'6".
I think Jaylen Brown's a tick below Mitchell.
But defensively, though, in the playoffs, you're not getting totally exposed because he can guard well one-on-one, very well.
Defensively, I guess it's a little better, but I don't know.
When it comes to scoring, though, it's the scoring production, the playoffs.
No, they get better.
Jaylen Brown's a better defender, but my goodness,
scoring
do we
production?
forget the offensive output?
That's what I'm saying.
Jaylen Brown, people are saying it's better than Jason Tatum after he was having some big-time games this year as well.
They've been saying that for a while. It's not true.
I mean, no, I'm not. I don't agree.
You said that. You said Brown's better than Tatum.
I said you can debate it. I didn't say he was better. What's wrong with you?
Nah, I'm bugging. Nah, but bro, I mean, we gonna see. I mean, I think Mitchell is better than Bradley.
There hasn't been a series, and I just looked it up. There hasn't been a series
where Donovan Mitchell wasn't the best player.
Outside of Houston has locked him up twice. Outside of Houston, he's never averaged under 28 points per game, and he's averaged 30 twice. Like
Houston, he had 22.
Times, pardon me. Like, so it's like his offensive output in a playoff series is ridiculous. Yeah. Like the way he just explodes and scored, like they need that type of player.
He averages the same amount of points per game in the playoffs as Kevin Durant, believe it or not, for their careers. I mean, small sample size, but he's up there. 29
I'll be honest, if you pick and choose who you
he had 50 twice, bro.